In today's video, I'm taking you through a full annual planning and goal setting workshop so we can actually hit all of our goals this year. Grab a coffee, a notebook, light a candle. Things are about to get crazy. Here is what we are covering today. First, we're going to do a reflection and audit of what has gone well and what we can kind of improve on. Then we'll do a dream day exercise to help you get clear on what you want. And lastly, we will get into goal setting and the art, or I guess the science, of setting goals you'll actually achieve. I'm caffeinated, I'm excited, let's get into it. We're going to start with some prompts for reflection as well as the audit. Now, some of this might be a little bit confronting, but this is just a friendly reminder that the new year is a fresh start and we are going to leave behind everything that doesn't serve us anymore. We'll start with the fun part. What's gone well? So first thing, what are your biggest achievements or milestones from the year? What else has gone well this year? What routines and habits have served you well? And the last one is, what do you wish you had more time to do? Now let's get into the audit and what maybe needs improvement. So this first prompt I really love. The first time I did it, I was like so mind blown. If someone could see a summary, like the data of how you spent your time this past year, what would they say your goals and priorities are? Honestly, for me, very confronting. If anything, what kept you from achieving your goals this year? What patterns do you want to break from this year? What do you want to let go of going into the new year? This last one is kind of a challenge to reframe and think of maybe the positive side of some of the challenges from the year. How did you learn, grow, or get stronger from this year's challenges? To wrap up the audit, we have a couple of exercises, I guess. The first one, this is a jump scare, is to check your screen time on your phone. Let me know how you feel about that, because I am not feeling good. Mine is over 6 hours. I just checked it this morning. That is genuinely disturbing. In my defense, it is the winter and the sun is setting at like 4:30 p.m. So what else is there to really do? But yeah, it's still disturbing. The other exercise is a time audit. So for a couple days or even a week, track exactly how you spend your time. There is one small problem with this activity. Once we start tracking, naturally we start behaving a little bit better. Even so, whenever I do this exercise, I uncover the most crazy and embarrassing stuff. Whenever I feel like I'm making excuses that I don't have enough time to achieve my goals, I will do this exercise and be like, oh, I definitely have enough time. I am just not spending it well. Before we move on from the audit, I just want to say that sometimes this exercise, especially at the end of the year, makes me feel a little bit sad, honestly. 2025 was a tough year for me on a personal and professional level. I was dealing with some loss, grief, and yeah, it was just a tough year. I think a lot of us are feeling that way going into 2026. Honestly, if you need to take a break after finishing this section, same. I feel like this is a really nice time to like take a walk. I honestly had to take the rest of the day off after I did my audit because I was like, wow. So yeah, that just tells you a little bit about how this year went for me. But anyway, once you finish the audit, I promise the hard part is over, and then we can get into much more of the fun and positive stuff, the positive energy, the fresh start, the excitement. The next exercise is to do a day in your dream life. And I like to do a Monday, not like a Saturday or a vacation or something special, like just a very regular day in your life. So thinking about where you're living, both location and the home, the apartment, whatever, your routines, habits, your workout, what you're eating, what you do for work, your family, your relationships, like really going through a full dream day. And I do want to say this, your dreams do not have to be realistic. There will be a point in this process where we're going to get more realistic, but this is not the time for that. Don't filter yourself. Don't tell yourself that something is unreasonable. This is your time to truly just daydream. My personal dream Monday is waking up at 5:30 a.m. because I think hot people wake up in the 5s, honestly. I go for a run, and in my dream life, I can actually run because in my present life, I can't. I watch the sunrise on the beach, even though right now I live 10 hours away from the beach. I get a coffee, I sit in a cafe, I plan my content for the week, I'm filming videos I love, my YouTube channel is thriving. Okay, so now we're gonna get into the goals section, and this is where we're gonna kind of reel things in a little bit, zero in on what we actually want to go after, and make our goals realistic and attainable. So after going through the dream day exercise, I like to start with a kind of brain dump of all of the goals that came up from that exercise. Once I have that list, I like to put my goals through a kind of filter based on the neuroscience and psychology of goal achievement. So these are the rules that I set for my goals. The first is that goals should be challenging but achievable. So if there's anything on there that you're like, there's no chance I'm doing that this year, we're gonna let that sit, come back to it in the future. There is some really interesting research that if a goal feels too easy or too challenging, we will just mentally check out. It won't activate the right parts of our brain to help us actually go after the goal. The next thing is that our goals should be measurable. So rather than saying I want to cook more at home, I would shift that to be I want to cook 3 meals a week at home. Last one is so important, and I made this mistake for years. Goals should be within your direct control. So for example, rather than saying, oh, I want to hit 10K YouTube subscribers, I would shift that goal to be I want to post 1 video a week. So focusing on the inputs of achieving a certain milestone rather than the actual outcome. Okay, maybe this is a hot take, and maybe you're going to be confused because you're going to be like, I thought I was watching an annual planning video. You are, but I don't actually think you should set annual goals. Here's why. I find that so much changes within a year. I started to wonder, why am I even doing this on a 12-month scale? Does this make sense? My personal answer was no, so I started doing quarterly goals instead. I still love the new year. I love the New Year's energy. I just use that time to set my Q1 goals, not like year-long goals. There's some interesting research on this, but shorter sprints working towards our goals can be a lot more effective because it's easier to stay motivated in a shorter time horizon. And also I find it a lot easier to be able to shift and adjust your goals as life changes. And you can kind of avoid that terrible feeling of getting to the end of the year and looking at your goals list and being like, I didn't end up doing any of this. Okay, so by this point we have a long list of goals. We've put them through the filter, so they're within our control. They're challenging but achievable, and they are specific and measurable. This is where we are zeroing in and making things more realistic by picking just our top 1 to 3 goals to start on in the new year. There's some pretty good evidence that when we try to do too many things at once, we do them all very poorly. So I feel like focus is one of the most powerful tools to actually achieve your goals. If you haven't already written these goals down, it is very important to document them somewhere, and they also need to be clearly visible. I have a video coming out soon on how to do a vision board that actually helps you achieve your goals and kind of the neuroscience and psychology of that. So I will link that as soon as it's live. Stay tuned. But yeah, there's a lot of great research that when our goals are clearly visible, documented, we're seeing them frequently, it really increases our likelihood of achieving them. I wanted to share 2 exercises that you can do if you want to really kick things up a notch, okay? The first is the anti-goals. If you are like me and you love to overcommit, take the goals that were on your ideas list, but you chose not to focus on for this next season, and mark those as distractions to avoid at all costs. As someone who likes to do 47 million different things at once, this is definitely painful, but it is so incredibly helpful to shift that mindset so you can really focus on a couple things at a time. Even things that we want to do at some point in the future that are important to us, that we love, even those things can be distractions if we let them sneak their way in. A personal example from my life is that in 2025, I banned myself from writing another fitness program. I absolutely loved writing my Ignite workout guide, but it took me a full year to make. I did the graphic design, I wrote and tested all of the workouts, I did the web design, I did the copywriting. This past year, I wanted to really focus on making more YouTube videos, improving the quality of my videos, and just invest in my YouTube channel. So I knew if I also tried to do a workout guide, it would really distract me and take time away from my YouTube channel. The last exercise is to think about the obstacles you think you will face and write out a plan for what you'll do in those cases. There's some really interesting research on this that it significantly increases our likelihood of achieving our goals. And I think the reason for that is that when we pre-decide what we're gonna do in a difficult situation, when the time comes, it's so much easier to make that choice rather than like having to do it on the spot. Some final thoughts before I leave you. I am definitely still working on this and thinking about this as well, but really your goals should serve you and not trap you. If you need permission to quit or let go of a goal that no longer makes sense for you, or that you just don't care about anymore, this is it. This is your permission. I am someone who's very type A, so I really struggle with not checking every single box. Truly, putting time and energy towards things that aren't really meaningful and resonant for us is just a waste of time, and life is way too short to be doing that. So I have exciting news. You actually have some homework. If you haven't already, sit down, go through the reflection prompts, and by the way, you don't have to do every single one, just the ones that resonate for you. Do the dream day exercise, write your goals list, choose your top 1 to 3. For me, this process usually takes under an hour. It's really fun. Like I sit down with some music and a coffee and a snack, and it's just like a good vibe. And then you will have your plan to start the year strong. Now, we have all just gotten a massive dopamine hit from this video, but friendly reminder, we haven't actually done anything yet. Without action, we're obviously not going to get anywhere. So my challenge or my invitation to you is, once you've written out your goals, take one step towards achieving them immediately after, because that first step is really the hardest, and once you get it out of the way, it gets the ball rolling and it's so much easier. And I'm right there with you. As soon as I finish filming this video, I'm gonna go do the exact same thing, and we are gonna make this the best year of our lives. I have so many exciting things to share with you at the start of next year. Things are changing around here, okay? That's all I can say for now, but it's about to get crazy. Anyway though, thank you so much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed this video. I hope it was helpful, and I really do hope you'll take a few minutes to go through these exercises at some point. This reflection and planning and goal setting process has been so helpful for me, and it's something I've been refining and tweaking over years and years to find what really works. If you'd like to see more from me, make sure to subscribe. I upload new videos every week, and I will see you next time.